Okay, this is going to be a defense guide for beginners, a basic one, and hopefully this should go a little bit better than my last video because I have a script this time. um, so I just want to make a couple things clear. This guide is for beginners, for people usually around the level of 10 to 50, people that are still trying to understand the game. Another piece of information is that this is not the only way to play the map. There's obviously hundreds of ways that you could go about this. There's a ton of different operators. There's a bunch of different ways you can do it. I'm just going to be giving you very basic guides, preferably with the default operators, the year ones, and we should be. And I want to give general strats just for people that are trying to get off the ground. And so, with Bank as a defender, your general idea is that you want to stay safe behind hard walls and collect intel and try to slow down the enemy as much as you can until they have to make a play, and then you can just kill them off of it. As of right now, ACOGs are the way to go, or ACOGs, ACOG players are more or less the star of the show in this map, but in the future, when it gets changed, the 2.5 zoom operators are going to be the next thing that's going to be important. One thing I should also show. So these top 5 right here are the 5 characters that I would say are the 5 that I'm going to try to be using during this whole thing. And if you ever want to switch it up or you start to buy new characters, these 4 can interchange with the ones above them. Yes, these are also default operators, but I'm not going to be going into these, or I can explain what these ones are, but for the sake of simplicity, I'm going to be sticking with these 5. Okay, so starting out in lockers. So like I showed before, the characters I would recommend are Smoke, Castle, Pulse, Doc, and Jaeger. I'm going to grab Smoke here just because he has a shotgun. And for this specific situation, I would run the deployable shield, which I'll get into when we go into individual operators. So we're here in A site, and so reinforcements, we'll go over that first. So there are 5 hatches that you need to reinforce, and I'm going to start out in A site. I'm going to start right here, and I'm going to show you how to get to all 5 of these hatches. So if you're doing 2 hatches, you would go up these stairs, and if you go left, you can come into here, and you have this hatch, which goes into the elevator, which I'll show in a second. And the other one is here in main lobby, vault this, and then this one goes into vault. So showing that from the bottom, the elevator hatch is right here, and the vault hatch is right here. If you're getting the open area hatches, you make the same pathing, you go up the stairs, except instead of going left, you go right this time. Here's your red hall hatch, and here is your A-site hatch. And so just to show that, so this is your A-site hatch, or sorry, this is your red hall hatch. This is the first one, and then this is the one that's in that little cubby area. This is the A-site hatch. And so finally the last one is going to be going up this way. And this is the server hatch, which is right there. So with your 5 reinforcements, you have 5 more that you can use. So I would do this 1, 2, 3. And then your last 2 are kind of not useful. They don't really do anything. There's some fun little strats you can do later, except just for the sake of argument, I'm going to say take those 2. So that way, if someone is rushing into B using this hatch, they can't just, like, you know, hot breach into here and then just, like, ash charge this wall. It slows them down enough that you will have enough time in order to stop them. Okay, so those are the 10 reinforcements. In terms of site prep, what you want to do is open up this wall right here at like head level, and you want to open up here at slightly above head level, only halfway. And so the idea is that you now have vision of this. You can also do it at head level too if you want. If you're playing closer, just so spoilers, this is where your ACOG is going to go. And so if you're playing up close like this, you can hold it right here and you get a good view into the A site. It's a really long angle, but if you hold all the way back here, you don't really have as good of a view, except you can still see into the A site, and you're more defending this side. But that's more of your plan. Another site prep that I would do is over here. So again, this wall is going to be reinforced. I'm actually going to reinforce it so we can see what the rest of it looks like. So this, you would open it like so. And so the reason why you open it in this specific way, with like the thing on the bottom and a really high on the top, is that you can run straight through like this without having to get the vault prompt. Because as you can see, the vaulting takes a lot of time, but if you're, say, over here and you need to, if you're in server and you need to get out fast, what you can just do is vault up here, sprint over, not cancel your sprint, and you can just make it back into here and you can go hide into gold where you're never going to get killed. Another option is right here, a small little crouch hole. A small little crouch hole like this. You want it on this side. I know that, like, it seems counterintuitive to have something like this where you can get shot, but what you want to do is if someone's attacking B, you can come into here and you have this indestructible little cow cart, so you can start fighting from here. And that's about it for site prep. There's not really a lot of other places that need to get bullet holes in holes like this. So we're gonna go in my paint chart, or we're gonna go with my paint chart in that order. So first off, we'll go with Jaeger. So you have 3 ADSs, 2 reinforcements, and 2 barbed wire. So if there one of your ADSs back here for you, I would reinforce these 2 walls, and then I would throw an ADS onto these blue stairs, depending on where your teammate is going to play. If your teammate is playing up here, trying to be aggressive, I would put their ADS right here. If they're not being aggressive, I would throw it all the way down here. And this is a good one, even if you don't have a teammate playing up here, just having an ADS down here is just good for you. Your third ADS, I would either keep it for yourself in case one of those 2 burns out, or I would throw it straight right here in case someone here in Red Hatch is trying to flush out your Red Hall player. You can eat up the stuff that's in there. So next up is Smoke, which is the character I'm on right now. And so as Smoke, I would reinforce this wall, since that's your single wall, and I would run upstairs and get this hatch. I would then throw your deployable shield right here, and I would pull out my shotgun and I would wait. Because 8 times out of 10, I'd say, someone's going to come here and they're going to, like, you know, try to contest for this. And so what you can do here is you can prevent a body shot if someone's like, so when people are typically coming here, they like to look down the stairs like this, and this prevents it. And it also puts a ton of pressure there. So, like, if you're, like, just sitting behind this like this, you can't get shot, and you can see through the deployable shield, because this is see-throughable. So as they're coming in, you could hide down here if you want to be a little bit more defensive, and you can see the people that are coming by. They're not tall enough in order to shoot over, so you can see them as they're walking by and just either like trace them as they come here, wait for them to like try to vault over and just shoot them in the head, things like that. It's a good position, but unnecessary. You could just use more barbed wire if you wanted, and you could just play right here. I would crouch so that way when people are rounding the corner, you have less of a chance of them just like auto aiming at your head. But you sit right here and you have a one shot on them at this distance, because this is only 6 meters. So this is 6 meters at the wall, so it's like 4 meters right here, which is easily enough in order to one shot anybody. And so your job is to just sit here and take out anyone that tries to fight you. If you start to get pressured out, your ADS dies. You can throw a one of your smoke bombs up here, and you can just hold off that position as you retreat backwards. But more or less, this is going to be the place that you play the whole time. There's not really a lot of positions where you can leave from here. And also the Jaeger person, if you ever get, if you know for a fact that they're not going to be coming through here anymore, you can sit here at the bottom of the stairs and support. Also, for barbed wire, I would throw one of the pieces of barbed wire right here, just that way. If these people are getting a little bit too like feisty, you can just sort of sit here and play it safe, because eventually they have to walk up and they have to either walk or break the barbed wire, and in both situations they're out in the open, so you can just pre-fire them like that and just take them out. And then your other piece of barbed wire, if your smoke is playing up here, you don't need a piece of barbed wire here. It actually kind of hurts him a little bit, but if he's not there, I would definitely put a piece right there or right here, because again, in this position they have to be out in the open in order to get it, and you can swing on them. But if your teammates are being good about it, or if you do have a smoke playing there, somewhere else that you can put it is over here underneath this hatch, so that way you can hear when someone drops down without having to worry about it. So next up is Doc. Doc has 2 reinforcements, 2 barbed wire. So I would run up here and I would get these those two reinforcements. I would throw both of your barbed wire here on these stairs, because that's kind of your main job, is holding that. And then I would sit back here. I would sit up here at first, and I would hang out on my cams, and I would look at this cam specifically, the garage ramp cam, because if someone shoots it, that means you have, so that cam is right here. So if someone's going to be pushing you, they will be going through this cam, so you can just keep an eye on it. If they shoot it, then they're probably going to be coming here. So just be aware of that, and then you can start to, prep yourself accordingly of hiding back here, holding this angle, holding over here. Just be aware that your feet can get shot out. Back here is a fun little spot because no one really hides back here. But yeah, your position as Doc is basically holding this long angle if you need to, and listening out and preventing anyone from coming down main stairs. And I'm going to wait until the next piece in order to go for the last 2 characters. Okay, so next up we have Castle. So Castle has unique strats in this game, to say the least. And I personally have a different way of playing this, except it's a little bit more complex. I'll go into it when I go into the next section, but just as a general thing, if you just need somewhere to throw your castles and stuff, I would run up here as quickly as you can, replace this window, run all the way over to here and put a barricade on the store. And then finally I would come over here, reinforce this, put a barricade up, put your last castle here, and then put your last thing over here. And then castle's position is going to actually be a pretty interesting one. So like I said in the attack video, you can pop these open for pressure. Well, you're actually going to be playing them as castle in this situation. So you have your super shorty, just as a thing, like your secondary weapon should be the super shorty. So pop those open, and you want to be playing up here. Hiding behind this, it's not bulletproof except, like, you know, is as good as you can get. And yeah, I didn't think so. But yeah, so this isn't bulletproof, this piece is. So if you can, like, you know, get your way back here. And so basically what you're going to be doing, and also final thing, bulletproof cam. You want to throw your bulletproof cam like over here somewhere, because you can't rotate the bulletproof cam, so I put it right there. And so it keeps an eye out of just all of open area, and so you can keep an eye on if someone's coming in through that way. It's the purpose of your castles is to waste time. So this one, it just causes them to either have to hit it 12 times with melees or use a breaching charge. Usually no one comes through this way, except if they were to come through this. Like, one, it's a little bit too risky in order to do both the outside ones, and this one doesn't really solve anything. If you were to castle this one as someone's coming in and they see that that one's castled, sure, they could break this open, except, like, if they were going to breach this open, they would just breach this instead. And so the idea is that you're just wasting this person's time, because this person needs to get their job done for everyone else in order to start getting a move on. And so having that just take a while in order to open, coming into here, like, you know, like wasting time meleeing this just to come in and see if this is also castled is super annoying. And then let's say that they do finally get in, they're able to finally, like, come into here, they're trying to come in. This is also barricaded, so now they can't hold the A stage, or they can't look over A site, and it's just gonna be a long time that they have waiting. And the entire time they're here, let's say that, like, you know, they use both the breaching charges or something, if they even had them, so now you just have someone sitting here just trying to melee this, you can just shoot them. And so obviously something that people can do, if they noticed you come up here, they can try to come in and fight you at these windows. If that happens, you can just retreat down, or you can just go the same way that you walked back up. But yeah, so this is a good just drop through. This is the one in the corner, so that one's a good way in order to get out of here. This one is the one where you can just shoot someone in the back of the head. And then this one right here is inside. Let's say that they go in, and you can, like, sit right here and you can shoot off all of the X-Kairos as they're in there. And so that's your main job as castle, is just to make them spend as much time as they can, using as much of their utility and time as possible. So finally, the last position is Pulse. And so Pulse, with his ability in order to see through walls, you're going to play in the safest position here in Gold Vault. So you're basically, what you're going to be doing is, since you're here in Gold Vault, no one's going to be able to shoot you. Like, 2 of your teammates have to die in some position for them to be able to reach you here. This is completely solid. You are 100% safe. So what I would really recommend you do is just go on here and just start looking through cams, just start cycling through and start finding people. This is a good position of learning different pushes, because you can say that, like, say this back alley cam is shot, so you know at least one person's here in back alley, and if you're able to, and also your 2 reinforcements should be the 2 that are in B site, so those 2. But what you can do, since you don't really have a lot of site prep to do, is you can just sit over here and you can look at this, and you can actually catch people as they spawn, and, like, say like, oh, two people spawned in back alley, like a Habana and a Thatcher. Someone's pushing into lobby, things like that, and basically your job doesn't start until your smoke dies. So this wall is the gold vault, and so you will be able to, like, you know, see like the little indicator above your smoke that like, you know, he got shot and he got killed here, rest in peace. And so once that happens, you can start to pull out your scanner and you can start to see when someone comes in like this, and you can start to give call outs to your Jaeger. And so if your Jaeger wants to stay back here and they want to keep like, you know, holding out like this, you as a pulse can sort of sit here and keep an eye on when they cross this line, because that's where the door is. And so that's your main job. And then the other thing, I knew I had to open this up. So the main thing you're going to do, like the reason why you picked Pulse and not like, you know, anybody else, is for this exact, like this last 10 seconds of the round. So like, as you can see, like the entire plan of all 5 of these characters is to just waste time. And so now they have to go and they have to do a play that they don't want to do. And so now you can see them starting to come in. Like, let's say they finally killed your Jaeger, they were able to finally take them out. And so you can see that they're starting to plant. What you can do is grab your C4, chuck it over, and then blow it up, and then you've won the round for your team. And you get cool play of the game, and everyone gets to see how cool you are with your cool C4s. And so alternate options of ways to play this is you can switch out someone for a Mira. If you were to throw this here and you have this Mira right here, you can play this Mira really easily. If you have a second Mira, I see people throw it onto this wall a lot. Something else that's kind of fun is throwing like a mirror right into the center of this wall if no one's reinforcing it. If you throw it into the center of the wall, there's no real good way for a soft breacher to get into it, because they have to like shoot around it, and then they have to like do like a silly little like crouch in order to get in. And like, that's more of like a cheese strat than anything, but for the most part, like mirrors, they put one here and then one here, and they reinforce both of them, and you can give up a reinforcement, say, on this one. That's not probably the least important of all of them. Or you could, you know, take both of them from over here, throw one over there, and then take the other one and put it right here, I'd say. So that way, if someone is hiding inside of blue, they don't, they just feel like they're not able to get into that. You can sort of pseudo choke off this area. The other thing, the castle strat. So the castle strat that I like to do, which is a little bit harder. So you're going to take one of your castles from upstairs. I would recommend the open area one that goes directly outside, and I would put it right here instead. And so that way, this whole wall is blocked off. And I would create a small little crouch hole right here, like this. And so what you can do is either the castle can play here, or, you know, if you're in a stack with some people, your Jaeger can stay right here. And let's say if they're getting pressured out, like, because like I said, this smoke and this Jaeger are meant to die here. They're meant to, you know, waste as much time as possible. But let's say that your Jaeger is like, I don't know, they don't want to be here for this. What you can do is the Jaeger starts off the round and only reinforces this wall. And so then, after he's spent enough time here, he's wasted enough time, he can come back in here. This is castled off, and you can just come up to here, and you can reinforce this wall back up. And so you've essentially gotten a lot more mobility from this person. You've given this person a lot more extra safety, and you haven't lost anything, because now the wall is reinforced back up again. Another character that's important is Cade. Cade can replace your Doc right here. The reason why I went with Doc instead of Rook, by the way, is because like I said, your long-range player is kind of the star of the show for this, and so that person needs to be able to get into a lot of fights and stuff, and as a dock player you can get into multiple fights and then just heal yourself back up, whereas Rook, he can kind of only take 2 fights, because like the first one he can win and the second one he gets downed, whereas Doc can stim himself back up to 100 and just keep taking fights and essentially do 4. But your Cade can hold this position, make sure that you're using your DMR, hold that angle, and then you can throw your Cades up to here. If there's a Thatcher ban, this is a really good, these 2, or if you wanted this one and then the server hatch, because the server hatch is slightly more important. You can throw your Cades up there, and if you ban Thatcher, it makes it impossible for those people in order to go, because no one picks Kali going into this first point. Anything else? That seems to be it. Oh, Rook, real quick, real quick. So, if you do want to play Rook, one thing you can do, hide here in B site, throw your impact here, throw your impact there, hide right here, and you have a perfect view into the main area. This is a really good this is a really good angle. No one ever plays in B sites, and no one's going to expect you to sit here, and this is a good option if you don't have a Mira, except you still want to play it. Okay, next up we have top floor, CEO and executive, and so once again reinforcements, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 4 reinforcements here. You only want to get the middle 2, and I'll go into that in a second. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let me double check here in order to make sure I'm giving you the right information. And then I personally do 9, 10. There's 3 walls right here, except this third wall is blocked for a majority of the way up. So I do these 2 just so that someone who's coming up white stairs can't like just shoot through and just get an easy sight line into B. So site prep. There's not a ton. Like there's important site prep, but so important thing is these walls do not go all the way up, and so what you can do with your castle, or I would actually make this more Smoke's job because castle's super shorty is a little better in the next spot, but opening up this top area, so something that you can do is if you have impacts, you can throw the impacts on the ceiling right up here, like on like you have to throw it in a little bit, and if someone's like putting a thermite on the other side or any sort of hard breach, it'll blow it up. This is like a small thing. No one's gonna do this like at lower ranks, except something to be wary of is that if you wanted to like grow with this strat, you would want to start putting your reinforcements on this side of the wall instead of the other side, because what you can do is you can open it up like this, and as you can see, the wall does like perforate in a little bit, and so if you were to put a thermite charge into here, it would actually go too far in, and this impact wouldn't actually break it. And so that's like a small thing, like that's a hyper specific play of how this works, except like just so you know, like, you know, when you all go pro, what you should be doing. So that's one site prep, and that's something that you can make your the one guy do your smoke, and then after that I would just throw a handful of these like head high or like chest high shots right here, just for your eventual dock player to have a good sight line in. And then I would take your castle and I would make 2 crouch holes going in and out of janitors. So one goes right here, and this takes you from CEO into janitor's closet, and then your other one goes and I'm out. And so this gives your person who will be playing inside of janitors a little bit more mobility. These two walls that are picked up gives him a little bit more safety as he's looking around and, you know, doing whatever. And so that's about it for site prep, which is good because I don't have any other things. Oh, this wall should also have a handful of shots in it. Just so that, like, I'll get into that in a second. So let's start out with Jaeger. So Jaeger's position is going to be inside of janitor's closet. So again, 2 reinforcements. I would put these 2 reinforcements down. I would put an ADS right here, either right there or right here, so that it doesn't get shot by these 2 windows. And so when people are like throwing in like smoke grenades and stuff, there's a chance that it'll catch it. Your next position is you want one of your ADSs right here, because this angle, sure it's there, but like you're gonna have somebody who's gonna be holding this door anyway. And then your final position, so after you put this one in, you run all the way back to this side, run through B site, and then you can put your final one either over here, like hide it over here, since most people when they're looking in, they're going to be looking this way, so they won't see it. So when they throw an ADS, or when they throw like flashbang in or something like that, it will just get eaten over here. Or you can throw it like behind this, on top of it, honestly. Oh no, what's happening again? If someone's playing back here, you can give them one down here, so that way if they try to smoke, or they try to flashbang into it, it just gets eaten instead. And then your 2 barbed wire, you want to put, you're going to want to put, wait, I'm wrong, sorry. Okay, so I made a mistake. So this one right here, you're actually going to move it. You're going to put it right here, because you're going to be playing this position. And so your barbed wire, I would put one right here in front of this window, and then I'd throw the other one either right here or right here. And we'll get into that when we get into the smoke position. So your job as Jaeger is, hopefully you can like tell your smoke or your castle to open up all of these hatches, so that way you have a place to go. These are the same hatches that Castle was playing at a second ago. So once again, you're holding this position. If you want to be really aggressive, you can come all the way up here and start watching people. So people can drop down from up here, and for the most part, people like to go into this door because, you know, it the difference between walking into a door versus vaulting into a wall or vaulting into a window is very different in terms of speed and sound. And so what you can do is, if someone, like, you know, vaults up here or something like that, or someone's, I would usually say people are coming up here the top way, and so you could, in theory, like, you know, hold this area up here and just watch them and try to spawn peek them, except what you could also do is get, like, a tiny little break and watch this door, and as they're trying to enter the door, you just shoot them in the back of the head. And so you want your last ADS to be here because it's going to be protecting you as you're fighting these people. And the idea behind this is that this is where you are going to prevent as many people from getting into this way as possible. Excuse me, as many people as possible, because this is the main way that people are going to get in. So if you can kill the hard breacher, because that's basically your job as Jaeger, is kill the hard breacher, like in every single map almost. If you can do that, you have, like, you know, gone above and beyond what your job is. So you're here now, and you can shoot that person. If you get pressured out, you can drop down to this hatch if one of your teammates does it. If you start to notice someone coming in this way, if you notice someone making noise at that one, you can peek over and you can start to shoot them from there. Also, there's a square cam, so right here, so you can actually watch the people that are here. So if they don't ping someone if they're on this, except as they're like going around, you can start to see them going, and then you can just shoot them like that. But yeah, that's your main job, is you're going to be here until you need to be here, and then if eventually you need to be here, handle it, but like hopefully that won't be the problem. So I'll go over Smoke really quick. So Smoke's position, like I said before, Smoke's main job is he wants to be opening up opening up these walls. I would put him in charge of doing these two, and then I would just start making all these like head level holes into all of these, just so that way you have something to do. And then, oh, another important one is you want a your final like sight breach should be right up there, like just above head levels, that way you can't get shot, but you just want like a hole up there. And so what you can do with that is if you stand back, you can lob your smoke bomb over, and it'll land right here, which is where the default plant is. And so if your Jaeger isn't able to stop these people, if the person who's going to be playing here isn't able to deal with it, then you have a like final save right here. And let's see, how quickly can we get through Doc? Doc's pretty simple, I guess. So Doc's main thing is two reinforcements. I would reinforce these two walls. I would throw one of your barbed wire here, and then I'd run all the way over and throw a barbed wire here at the top of main stairs, or white stairs. And then your position should, if you don't have someone who boards these up, which I'll get into in the next round, except if you don't have someone who board these up, it's very important. And your job is you're going to be holding these super long angles. You're going to just be going all the way back, and you're just going to be making sure that no one comes in. If someone tries to flank you, you'll be able to hear them on the barbed wire. And there's no real way of people coming in without you hearing them, at least. Like, you have to make noise in order to come into this thing. And, so yeah, your basic job is just sit all the way back here, hide behind this, which is indestructible. And so you can just hold all the way back here and shoot all the people. And so we'll wait until the next round in order to get the last two operators, because they have pretty important jobs. Okay, so next up is going to be Castle. Castle has a pretty important job. So your 3 castle walls I would put onto this. This. And this window. And then I would barricade the other 2. And so the reason for this is because, so for this one specifically, from this window, if you're peeking in, you can actually get a good view, like all the way down, so you have a really good sight line, and you choke your dock out, or you prevent the choking of your dock of just being stuck like right here, essentially, or just getting shot from that angle. And then these 2, the reason why you have these in the way is because of these so something that a lot of people that watch streamers do is they come out here and they rappel up this column, and they start to look through this window, and they try to shoot anyone that's inside, specifically your dock. And so these 2 specifically prevent that, because this one, that's not the window that they go to, and this one is not. You can, if you play it right, you can just hide behind that column, and it makes the area that you can get shot significantly harder. Like, just like this tiny little area, which you shouldn't be here anyway. But the other 2 positions are very important, and so this is just sort of a thing in order to help out your teammate. Reinforcements, I would do, I guess not those 2. I guess I'd do these two. Whatever hasn't been done yet. And then I'd go and I'd open these up for your Jaeger player. And then what you want to do as your, and I don't know, throw a bulletproof camera right here. Your bulletproof camera isn't that useful. Oh, actually, no. Better bulletproof camera spot. You can throw your bulletproof camera right here instead, and so that way you can keep an eye out on this. So, in theory, if your Jaeger is holding these people correctly, the only way that these guys can really get here properly is to come in through this window. And so if you have this bulletproof camera right here, you can actually watch them come in through the window and give calls to what they're doing when they're doing it. And if they're able to come all the way over here and melee it, then they're in sight of your Jaeger, and so your Jaeger can then take them out. And so the position that you want to be as castle is, once again, you are supporting your dock. And so I would sit in here. I would shoot that out. And I would chill out here. And I would do my best specifically to hold this angle. So you can hear the barbed wire that goes off. Your dock is also protecting you because there is barbed wire on your two flanks where someone can get to you. You can hold this position, you can hold out here, and you don't really want to leave this elevator. Like, if you hear someone like coming up here, you don't want to take the aggressive route and try to peek them. It's not worth it, especially because you have a UMP, and, like, you know, UMP is not a great gun. But basically what you want to do, like, this is a really hard angle to fight, so even though you have a bad gun, you get sight of their head before they have a chance to shoot you. And you can sort of just chill out the corners, specifically this corner. And you can either fight this guy or go over here and fight this one. And if they start to, like, you know, be mean to you, you can just drop down here. You can sneak around and shoot them back. You can come back up and shoot them up there. You can also go here and you can begin a fight for open area. And so that's the main castle strat that I would stick with. And then finally your pulse player. And so, where have I not reinforced? I forget. 1, 2. Oh, right. The other wall. So your pulse is gonna come and get these two walls. And basically your pulse is just gonna sit here until he's not allowed to sit here anymore. And pulse player, I would recommend to just be on cams and start going through and doing all the stuff just like the last position. So this is destructible, be aware of that. And as you can see, there is a window all the way back here. So if someone wants to be mean to you, and they watched a YouTube video or two, what they could do is they could rappel up there and ash charge this this thing, so that way you'd no longer have a position to sit right here. If that happens, then just, like, you know, either move over here and just try to pretend that you're, like, there instead. Hide behind this bomb. Bombs are indestructible, so you can still fight this. If someone opens up this wall, then just, I don't know, be upset. But after you put up these two, what you want to do is break the bottoms of these windows. That is going to be, like, the thing that you do for the rest of prep phase until barricades come in and you have to do all the barricades because your teammates are not going to do them for you. And so with the 2 hits, as you can see, I have the prompt to vault now, which I didn't have before. So, like, let's just... So with this one, with the full one versus the half one, I only have the option to remove the barricade, whereas this one I have the option to vault because I've done the 2 melees. And so what you can do is you can start listening out, or you can, you know, watch your cams, do whatever you need to do. Specifically, oh, I just had it. Oh no, this one. So this one should probably get shot, except you're right in front of me. So, like, or sorry, it's those two on the slate left. Oh, hey look, it's me. But what you can do is you can do that. You can start to pull out your cardiac sensor. This is my cardiac sensor. And you can start listening out for anyone that's rappelling up, because it's a very common thing to do. And you don't really have that much of a position here, or that much of a role. So what you kind of want to do, by the way, your castle can do this too, if they had the proper intel. And you could switch positions with your castle if you think that you can get more out of your active utility than him with his passive. And so what you do is you start to listen for repels and things like that, and you breach through, you shoot them on the way down, and now you're out here and you're detected, and it's going to be really bad, but you got to kill, and that's what really matters. And so there isn't really a way for you to get back in, if I'm being honest with you. So like I would sit right here and I would just, you know, try to play your life, spend as much time as possible, again, waste time. If you can somehow, in like, you know, like a freak of nature, get to this and like just run through, you're essentially safe because no one's going to be following you through here, and you just have to worry about like, you know, someone being in server. And then you can like, you know, make your way back up, but for the most part you're kind of just going to be, once you're out there, you're just going to be detected, and you're just going to force people to have to try to peek you, and this is where you get some really good headshot practice, because you need to make sure that you know how to do that. Don't do that with that one, by the way. That one is a semi-important one. Okay, so other strats. Impact grenades are cool. You know, Alibi is a good character in this. Alibi has her impact grenades, and you can start throwing your this map is very well known for its spawn peaks, and so something that you can do is you could like, you know, open up this window, and then like as soon as the thing starts, throw your Alibi like right here. And so then when it forms up, it's going to look like a person, and it's going to be detected, so you might get a few people in order to shoot it, and then you get, like, you know, free intel, which is always nice. And then, like, you know, figure out your other two Alibi spots. I would assume there's probably a good one in here. Like, this is probably a pretty solid one. And then another good one could be, like, back here, or, like, right here. Something in order to scare people into thinking that there's someone just hiding this weird angle, or holding this weird angle like that. But the main thing you want to do with any character, Alibi was just an example, but anyone with impact grenades, you want to be holding like this position, and when you start to hear them exploding the thing, you want to go and impact trick and blow up the thing on the other side. Instead of Pulse playing here, you can play a Bandit. You can Bandit all four of these walls because they're all important. By the way, if you have to decide on like which wall you should be defending, this one is the much better wall because this one is much harder to defend. Like this one, you know, you have your long sight angle from your dock and stuff like that, and you also have this crouch hole right here, and you have this guy up here that's able to just like, you know, shotgun through, do whatever. But this one's a lot harder to defend from, so you want to try to keep this one more safe. But if you're not going to do that, I would bring barbed wire and throw barbed wire, like, I don't know, like here and somewhere out in square. I would throw them out there, and I just start listening, and then I do the exact same play that I was doing with Pulse. More fun characters are Echo. Echo can throw one of his, I don't remember what they're called. His drones that go up in the air and they just sit there. And what you can do is you can do that instead of the dock. Have the docks, or instead of the dock, you just sort of like sit back here, make sure that no one's like taking you out back there, and just like, you know, hide inside this desk and hope no one sees you. And you can chill out on your drone and just wait for them to try to come in and plant. So you can just sit right here, and then when they start to plant, you just hit them with your the little wub wub thing, and it's able to take them out. Okay, so final position, I'm going to go over Teller Archives, Staff Room, and Open Area. I personally like better, except it's easier to defend Teller and Archives, just in general. And I'm gonna do this a lot faster because, you know, like, you probably aren't actually going to be defending this site, but if you do, just, you know, you should have an idea of what you're doing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then there are 2 hatches above. There's like 3, but it's the same hatches that you were opening up before. So running up here, I would not reinforce these. I would actually open those up, and I would put let me see here. Just for this one, it's not really as important. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then you have 3 more that can go upstairs. You can reinforce the 3 hatches up top. I would actually recommend that, except there is a strat that I'll go over that doesn't do that. So site prep, head holes, basically having head holes like that is pretty good. And then having your crouch hole right here is also very good. So in this position, you can sort of come back here and defend this spot. And that's basically it. And again, you can pop open those hatches if you want, but if not, just reinforce them, and it just gives a little bit extra security. So as smoke, what you want to be doing is, again, opening up all those holes, and your general position is going to be right here. You're going to be hiding behind this. As you're waiting for people, you can just start popping all these. It's a fun little thing to do. Since they do not actually give you cover, and they actually get in the way of like what you can see, and so you can then hold this door. We'll go into how else you can hold this area, or how else this is going to be defended. So this is going to be your general spot. If they're coming in from this side, you can start to look into this way. I would also pop open this just so that you can see through. And that's about it. There's not really much of a plan to that. You could put reinforcements right here. This is just one. Yeah, so you can just put 1 reinforcement right there, so that way you're a little bit safer when you're sitting right here and holding this position. But again, not necessary. For your dock, I would play your dock right over here. I would throw your smoke should also open up this hatch, and as a dock, you should put your barbed wire right there. So the reason why that's so good is because it forces someone to make noise here for a much larger area, because they either have to walk through this or they have to fall down this hole, because this is indestructible, so you can't like get across without running into that. And so it's a really good way of making sure that that's held up. And then your other barbed wire I would put on the other side of the map, which is I would bring it all the way over here, and I would put your second piece right here in the opening of the door, so that way if they want to come in, they have to break that, and preferably they have to be in sight line in order to do it. Next up is Jaeger. Oh, I completely skipped Jaeger. So 3 Jaeger positions. I would put 1 Jaeger here in order to help out your smoke, because he's going to be going through a lot, to say the very least. I would put 1 right there. Your barbed wire, I would throw both of them on the main stairs. So put your piece right there, throw up your reinforcements, whatever. Right over here. And I'd throw both of your pieces of barbed wire going up. So one right there and then one right here. And then you could either throw another ADS up there in order to help out your teammates, except I would personally just hold on to it and throw your second ADS right into this little crevice right here. And I would play up close like this. This is also good to reinforce. Because now you can play a lot closer up and you can start fighting this person. And this gives a lot more intrinsic value to that ADS, because now they have to fight you from outside, and so it forces them to want to use their utility, their stun grenades and stuff like that, and so then they just get eaten up right there. And if you throw it in deep enough, they can't actually shoot it. Like if you just throw it way deep into here. And so this position's really good for that. If you need to back up, you can come back here. Let's say that your ADS ran out, you can come back here, throw your second one back here, and hold this position, hold that area. And these are the hatches that I recommended reinforcing, or not, which I'll get into. But that's basically what you're going to be doing as Jaeger. And then your castle and your pulse are going to be playing upstairs. So, again, if you want, you can hold those. I would communicate between each other, because your castle's the one with the destruction, and so basically these two are going to be playing in tandem. So the castle is, hold on, let me go over the castle spots first. So first castle you want is this door right here. So that way they don't have a way, and it more or less forces them into that door. The second castle you want onto this window right here, and that just makes it dissuades them even more from wanting to come in here, because they already have to vault through, and that's going to be annoying enough, except now there's a castle wall in front, whereas there's this completely open door with only a piece of barbed wire in front, and so it makes them want to go through, which makes your smoke's job a lot easier. And then the third one, kind of wherever you feel like it. You can do this main, you can do that main thing right there, which sort of forces them to come in. If they spawned alley access, you force them to come in here and take a gunfight with you. Or you can just hold on to it and just, play the round and see where it goes, but you only need the two. So as the castle, I would be playing right here. Again, reinforce or don't, but remember when you were playing this before, on basements, this is a good way of getting out of this situation. And then your pulse will be playing in here and doing the same thing as the smoke was, essentially, where except now he has a pulse thing that's able to go through and check all those people. If he needs to, you can open up that and give him a way out. Even though that these so, like, the reason why these ones are okay to open up, even though they're above you, is because they're not really above the site. And so you can get away with having them open. Alternate options, different characters. One character that I like a lot in this is Goyo instead of Castle. So what you can do is you can throw one of your Goyo shields right there, and then your other one right here, like basically in place of where these barbed wire would go, and so whenever someone starts to come in, instead of taking a gunfight with them, you can just waste more of their time by just shooting the Goyo and having it go off, and you have 10 seconds of not having to worry about that spot. Other than that, Mira's pretty good. If you put the reinforcement here and put the Mira on this, you can start to watch this door and watch over here, and it's not safe, but if you really want to, you can also barricade this up. I'm not typically a person that barricades up the entire site, except this one kind of lends itself to it a little better, because if you barricade that up, you barricade this up, throw like Goyo shields behind it if you really wanted to, like if you really wanted to be a degenerate, you're going to be safe. You can hear whenever someone's there, you can sit right here and just chill out here and wait for them to come across there. or come across here. But the general idea is you want to be defending the site from like the small little openings, and you play 2 people up top as opposed to like all the other ones where I try to keep everyone on the same floor. Uh-oh. So the reason why you wanted to play people on the top floor is because this entire floor above you is destructible, and so you can get so if someone brings like a sledge up here and they just start to like, you know, like pop open all of these sight lines and stuff, they can get some really good angles on if they know what they're doing. And so you want to have 2 people up here that are trying to prevent that as much as possible in order to give your anchors as much space as you can. But yeah, that's about it. If there's anything that I missed, sorry. Hopefully this will be done better in the future one day. But yeah.